Welcome. This podcast is a series of candid conversations exploring the human experience from a completely new perspective. In it, we will be diving deeply into the meaning of commonly used words and pointing you away from that old stressful way of looking at life and towards a new paradigm. This will help you find a sense of calm, cultivate meaningful relationships, and create harmony in every aspect of your life. Here is Navigating Life with Ease with Michaela, Ellis and Clare Downham.
Clare.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm so good. I'm like just hankering to get at it. Ready?
Oh, yes. I am.
Yeah. Let's talk about marriage.
Oh. Well, I've done that. It's the first thing. I did that for quite a long time. 17 years I lasted. And Bruce and I, we've been engaged for 5 years now. Haven't got married. Various factors have come into play, but mainly it's just another thing to do, really, which I don't feel like we need. Yeah, my marriage was massively against my intuition. Like I kind of knew I was doing something that wasn't a good idea. When I walked down the aisle, I knew. Like my gut was saying, this is not a good idea. I mean, I love my children. I wouldn't be without them, so I don't like regret really, but there's something about reflecting on knowing that I was walking into something that wasn't healthy, wasn't balanced, wasn't good really. So I've actually been separated from my ex-husband for nearly 10 years now, which blows my mind a bit really, because it's just like, God, so we're together for 17 and then we've been split up for 10. I'm like, oh, that's giving too much away in terms of how old I am. And we're both a lot happier now. What my kids say, their dad's a lot happier and I'm a lot happier. And there was something for me about all the way through the relationship thinking, like hearing a voice saying it's time to call this is not healthy for anybody. I was a very shouty, angry person in those days, but yeah, it was difficult. And I didn't listen. I hung on in for far too long, to the detriment of my own health, really, and probably wasn't doing him any good, although he fought it quite seriously at the end. He didn't want to split up. So yeah, I think what comes to mind is do it for the right reasons as well. Like I heard a survey a while ago that said that, the more money you spend on the wedding day, the more likely you are to not sustain, like it's not all going to be this kind of, balloons and streamers and flowers. It's not all going to be like that. That is not what a long-term committed relationship is. And I could just like comment, and also I'm watching at the moment on Netflix, I am watching the Indian Matchmaker, which is so interesting and completely culturally, you know what I'm trying to say. We've probably got a similar kind of cultural relationship with marriage. You fall in love with somebody, you get married to them, etc. But obviously the Indian way historically has been much more about arranged marriages, and so mostly it's about these younger people trying to find somebody most of them have been through the kind of what we would call traditional ways. They've been dating, they've been doing all of that, and eventually they've gone back to the traditional way, and they've called in this lady, Seema Auntie, they call her. They've called her in from India. Some of them in America, some of them are in India, but a lot of them are Western, and they've called her in to come and help them find somebody. And they keep showing clips of these older couples who've been married for a long time, who had arranged marriages, where they just say, oh, we met them for 15 minutes and then we got married, and we've been married for 30 odd years, 40 years. Wow. Having met somebody for 15 minutes. But it makes you think, how much is our thinking about, our cultural thinking about marriage is that it's got to be about love, and it's got to look like this, and then it's a big flower wedding, and that, there's ages of gap between meet someone, and then you get engaged, and then there's another gap, and then you get married. Whereas these people are like 15 minutes, and they literally then are married within 2 weeks.
Wow.
And their relationships have sustained. I'm not saying they all sustain, but it just shows it's possible. And maybe culturally then there's not so much thinking in the way, because we think it's supposed to look a certain way. That went all over the place. I don't know what you heard of any use or interest in that, but it's probably made up. It's the conclusion, the whole concept of it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So good. The idea of, I actually think that's a great idea now when I have some friends who are single and have, played around on dating apps. And I thought that would be a really great way to go. But what I've seen is that there's so much fear. So everyone's playing little games trying to protect themselves and hide the things that they think are not good enough, and project out or try to fit into someone else's, like, how they navigate in their life. It's like, yeah, I could like to do that. Trying to fit in to someone else's idea of what a really nice life would be. So when you brought that up, I thought, whoa, that would be actually a really great way to have someone come in, and because there's no knowing that someone's going to match you with someone who's a fit, rather than here's the person and I'm going to either be approved by or disapproved by. And it's not really about that. It's about preference and what feels good, and maybe things in common. I believe in the vibrational energy that we are, and we can vibrate throughout a day with our thoughts and feelings. Of course, we vibrate at various levels, but I think we all sort of have the essence of who we are. There's an energy to that. And when we can really allow ourselves to be all that we are, and it's like trusting ourselves. And really, I see that really only comes with having an understanding of that we're so much more than this body and this personality and what we've done in the past, and our work or whatever it is, or our hair, or how we dress, or where we live. We're so much more than all of that. And it's when we can come to it like a matchmaker. I'm sorry, I had no idea it was going to go there, but since you brought it up, this is kind of cool. Like in a matchmaker, she doesn't care. She doesn't care who you are or what you're about. There's no judgment there. It's just like all she's or he is interested in is finding someone who, there seems to be some matches that, but isn't that what we maybe want to do? we just all want to be loved and accepted and in community, whether in here we're talking about one, or maybe not. I know there's cultures that have more than one in a marriage. I too was married previously, not for long, and same. I overrode my intuition and went ahead anyway. Yeah. It was just a few years, and we didn't have children. We had cats. So interesting, like thinking about the reasons for overriding that knowing that's rising up within. And it still happens. I still do that, right? Regularly. And it's like, why? I don't know. We justify things in our mind, or make up reasons or excuses or allowances, or in other relationships. I remember entering because I wanted to help them. I wanted to like fix them. Like, who am I? Oh, good grief.
Familiar.
Silly.
That was how I overrode the intuition. I'll sort him out. Literally, if I the fact I'd already been with him quite a few years and hadn't sorted him out, in inverted commas, of course, that for some reason I thought I would. I don't know. It's crazy, really.
Yeah.
Well, it isn't crazy. It's human, I think. And when you've kind of begun to care about somebody and love them, and then there's that as well, you kind of hang on in there with the hope that it's gonna change, don't you?
Yeah.
But I love what you said about online dating. Like, that is because I met my fiance on online dating on Tinder, in actual fact. Cool. And there was a few frogs on the way, shall we say, just the odd one or two. But the deceit, the pure deceit that goes on there, where somebody hides who they are, and especially physically. So there is this sense of people not accepting themselves, I think, is the starting point, isn't it? There's no self-acceptance. So why would somebody else like me? I don't even like myself. And so then there's a creating of this different version of yourself. Like Bruce said to me, he'd meet women who had put pictures on, they were 3 stone heavier than when they had posted the pitch had been taken. And that is important to people, how people look. It's one of those things, isn't it? Shallow though we may say it is, it physically is important to people, how somebody looks when that initial meeting happens. And also, I think it's the deception. If you meet somebody who's led you to believe they look one way and they don't look that way at all, then you're starting off on a level of deceit, really, aren't you? And not telling the truth about yourself. But it's really understandable. Whereas you're right with the matchmaker, she's so straight talking. This woman, she just says to them, she usually pretends, she calls them biodatas, the sheets. So she has a sheet with a photograph and description of the person, what their cultural kind of heritage is, what languages they speak, and then kind of it's like a CV for dating, really, but it's like 2 sides of A4. It's quite a decent chunk of stuff, and she's presenting these biodatas to the person that she's working with, and she's sort of saying to them, well, 60-70% of your requirements, because some of them have got a very long list of requirements of what they think they need in a person to make them happy, kind of thing. And she's very kind of, no, if you get 60-70%, you're doing well. That you're not going to get 100%. You're not, but isn't that interesting how, and lots of people on the show have got together and got married and that seeing that what we thought we needed in a marriage, in another person, a partner, when it comes to it, it's so much more, not complicated, but it's not as cut and dried as that, is it? Because when we get into a connection with somebody, they may not have all the things we thought we wanted as criteria, but there's just something, some connection between us and another person that just seems right. And that's almost, I think that is almost underneath our thinking. Like Bruce and I had a really dodgy start to our relationship. We would rub each other up the wrong way. I would criticize, and then he would take that really badly, and then he'd run, like not literally run. He'd like pack his bags and say, "I've had enough because I'm not good enough for you," and and then there'd be all these spats between us. But there was something I could, even before the 3 principles, something I knew was okay about this connection we had with each other, and I was like looking beyond the behavior. I could see he was hurting. I think that was it. And that wasn't about me, that was him hurting. And so I kept going, and he, over time, those things fell away really. But, because I just knew it was right. That was when my intuition, even though there was some upset, that was when my intuition said, no, this is right, actually. It still felt right to be with him. And now we're super happy.
That's awesome. Yeah. It comes down to a feeling. Yeah. And looking to the same things. Not, there might be, yes, we both want kids. Yes, some of those grander things, those are important. But even just in day-to-day life, what are we looking for here? What are we wanting to experience here? And you get a sense, and you evolve. Over time, you evolve. And there's, the paths there, like with children, they go, or at least in my experience, they kind of went fairly tightly together. And now the kids are doing some of their own things. And so now, Rob is really into cycling, like mega. I think he put on 200 kilometers this weekend. That's not really if it's pretty and I can enjoy it, I like that. If I like to stop and try my hand at, videoing while I'm riding, I don't really recommend it. Don't do this at home, kids. But there's things that we enjoy doing together, and there's things he enjoys doing on his own, or doing in a way. I mean, he enjoys riding with me too. I enjoy riding with him. And there's compromise, right? I might have mentioned it on here before, where one of the rides that we went on, partway through, I said, are you seeing more than you usually are? Because he just rides. And he said, yeah, I am. I said, great, because I'm seeing less. So we're doing a nice compromise here. And I was okay with that, right? So it's like you find a way if you want to. It's a choice, really, in what it is that you want to experience with this person, because you can truly make any marriage better or worse. depending on your thinking. I've done it. I've done both, right?
Oh, God.
Sheesh. Yeah. Just making, if you look for something like, oh, why is this always on me? Why am I always doing this? This isn't just my stuff that needs to be cleared off the cupboard. It's, someone. And then I'm just like eagle eyes looking at the cupboard all the time, or looking at, and then having all these stories go on. And now it's just like, yeah, there's stuff on the cupboard, and it's not all mine. And sometimes every now and again that all get put away. And maybe we just need a different storage system. We need something else to hold those things that the kitchen just seems to be the easiest place to dump it. It's in my hand and I've got nowhere else, but here's the cupboard. So it's like I have made it into a big deal at times. And now it's like, it's okay. It feels like a big deal when I'm caught up in my mind about other things. And then it's just like, yeah. Then it's like the energy of my icky thinking is like attracting, yeah, I've had icky thinking about this, and let me pile that on. And just like that, it can also just fall away when you see how I'm just making it up. I'm just making it a big thing because I'm feeling a little something about something else. Yeah, interesting.
So in that way, marriage is exactly the same as every other experience and circumstance and relationship and everything else, isn't it? If we've got cool thinking about it, we're going to have a great experience. If we've got rubbishy thinking about it, we're going to have a rubbishy experience. It's interesting to notice how the same theme, it's the same thing, isn't it? So I'm doing quite a lot of exploring of relationships at the moment, and last month I was exploring a lot around productivity, and I'm finding exactly the same themes are coming up with the two subjects, because it is just how we're relating to that thing that's creating our experience, nothing else. So the thing can be the thing, marriage, a piece of work I've got to do, another relationship, a situation, whatever. And my experience of that is my thinking about that. Nothing else.
Yeah. And it's not to say that there isn't, I believe that some marriages, like my first, there came a time where the fear, the concerns, the, not wanting to hurt someone, not, there was a time where there was so much thinking that was all wrapped up in, this is not a happy connection here. Not good for either of us. Although I wasn't really thinking so much about him at the time, more it was about me. But looking back, it wasn't really great for either of us. So there comes a time, and you can tell by the tension, right? There's just a tension of feeling of, oh, something needs to change because I can't be me. I'm not able to express me and just be okay with that. So, yeah, I just wanted to, preface that there is a time when a marriage, it doesn't matter so much what you're thinking, that you can look at all the good things, but if in your heart, it still feels like, no, there's something off.
Yeah.
Follow that. You can trust yourself. You can trust yourself.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Interesting.
Went all over the place, didn't it? I like it when I do.
Me too. Me too.
Well, we shall talk again on another subject very soon.
You betcha. Have a great week, Claire.
Yeah, you too. Thank you. Take care.
Ciao. Hey, thank you for being a part of Navigating Life with Ease. We'd love to hear your feedback and receive a review on your favorite podcast platform. That'd be great. This will help others who'd also like more ease in their life to find us. You truly matter to us, and we're here to support you. So if you've any words you'd like us to explore, or you have a question, please reach out to us at Clare@claredownham.com or Michaela at simpleselfconnection.com. Again, thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more episodes of Navigating Life with Ease.